Hello students. So in the last class we have seen about what is the differential amplifier and different differential amplifier configurations. So first of all, what is differential amplifier? So differential amplifier will amplifies the difference between the input signals. Suppose one input is 6 volts, another input is 4 volts, then the difference is 2 volts. That 2 volts will be amplified by the amplifier. So that type of an amplifier is called as differential amplifier. This differential amplifier is a basic building block of op-amp, operational amplifier. So in this differential amplifier, we have a different configurations. Those different configurations are dual input balanced output differential amplifier, dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier, and single input balanced output differential amplifier, and single input unbalanced output differential amplifier. So these are all the four major configurations of differential amplifier. So in this class, we are going to discuss in detail about the differential amplifier and the analysis of differential amplifier we are going to deal. So the analysis was divided into two parts. One is the DC analysis, another one is the AC analysis. In the AC analysis, we are going to calculate the voltage gain, input resistance and output resistance of the differential amplifier. The DC analysis will be equal for all configurations of differential amplifier like single input or dual input or balanced output or unbalanced output, whatever is the configuration, the DC analysis is same because these configurations are made based upon the input signals we are applying, output signal what we are taking, but the circuit is same. So that's why the DC analysis will not be changed for one configuration to another configuration. So first of all, we will go into the dual input balanced output differential amplifier analysis. So we can see the circuit for dual input balanced output differential amplifier here. So why it is called a dual input? Because we are applying the two AC signals V1 and V2 to our circuit. So because of having the two AC signals, it is called as a dual input balanced output. So here V0 will called as a balanced output. So why we are calling it as a balanced output means we are taking output across the C1 as well as the C2, the collectors of the two transistor sections. So here we are applying the two DC biasing voltages or supply voltages are called plus VCC for the collectors and minus VEE for the emitter. Okay, these two are biasing voltages or supply voltages for the circuit, and RC is a collector resistance. So in order to do the DC analysis first, in order to do the DC analysis, we have to obtain the DC equivalent circuit. So what will be there in the DC equivalent circuit? So if you want to do the DC analysis, we have to zero whatever the AC signals that are present in the circuit. So here we can observe the V1 and V2 are the AC signals, AC input signals for our differential amplifier. That's why this V1 and V2 should be equate to 0 volts. So 0 volts in the sense we are going to ground those two signals. See here, the Q1 base is going to ground potential and Q2 base is also given to the ground potential. In this way, we have grounded the two AC signals that are present in the circuit. So that's why we can do the DC analysis of our differential amplifier. So first of all, to determine the operating points of ICQ and VCEQ, we are going for the DC analysis, right? So we have to apply the KVL for the input side section. So here it is the input side. So here we are going to apply the KVL. So in this entire loop, the voltage that is present here is minus VEE. We can write the KVL equation like minus IBRS. So instead of RS1 and RS2, I am taking it as RS because the RS1 is equal to RS2, which is equal to RS. Okay, minus IBRS. So here VBE, base to emitter voltage that is present, that is a minus VBE. Here 2IE into RE plus VE is equal to 0. So the KVL equation is completed here. So why it is 2IE? Because here we have the two CE amplifier sections, and these two amplifiers having the IE current, emitter current IE1 and IE2. These two currents are going to mix in the resistor RE. That's why IE from the Q1 and IE from the Q2. So we can also say IE1 from the Q1, IE2 from the Q1, IE2 from the Q2, both will join in this node, and then the current appear here is 2IE because these two IE signals are in same direction, we can observe. So that's why IE plus IE, which is 2IE. Okay, so like that we have written the KVL equation. So in the next step, we know that IC is equal to beta times of IB, and also we know beta is equal to IC by IB. So from that we can write IC is equal to beta times of IB, and IC is approximately equal to the IE. Therefore we can write IB is equal to IC by beta. Just I am transferring the beta to the left hand side, so we can take it as equation number 2. So now we are going to substitute this equation 2 in the KVL equation what we have written in the previous step. Okay, so wherever IB is there, that is going to replace as IE by beta. Therefore IB RS can be replaced as, so minus IB RS can be replaced as minus IE by beta into RS minus VBE minus 2IERE plus VE is equal to 0. So here you can observe, here is one IE, in this term also containing the IE, so that we can common the IE. So if you take the IE as a common, so in this term we can get minus RS by beta, and in this term we will get minus 2RE. Okay, so plus VEE is already there, and minus VBE is equal to 0. Okay, therefore IE, if you write IE equation, so we can take this to the left hand side. So VEE and VBE we can take to the left hand side, right hand side, or else we can take minus as common from here, and we can take this entire term to the right hand side. Okay, so whatever is this, if you rearrange the equation, IE will becomes VEE minus VBE by 2RE. So where is this RS by beta? So you will get that out, because RS by beta is a negligible value, hence it was neglected, because the value of source resistance is a very small, and we all are know the beta, the forward current gain of a transistor, is a large value. So a small value divided by large value will becomes a very small value, which is negligible, hence the RS by beta was neglected. Okay, you can see RS by beta is neglected because beta is a large value and RS is a small value in order of 100 ohms or something. 100 divided by a large value, which results a small value, hence it was neglected. So we can say IE is equal to VEE minus VBE by 2RE. So, and we already know one thing here, IC is approximately equal to IE. So that we can write this equation is equal to the IC value. So as we are doing DC analysis, this IC or IE value equal to our ICQ, which is a Q point current. Okay, Q point current equation. Okay. In order to know the VCEQ operating point, so we have to know the output voltage of our transistor. So the output voltage is measured between the collector and emitter of the transistor. So that's why we have to know the voltage at the potential C and the node E. These two potential we should know. Collector terminal, that is called as a C point. At the C point, the voltage is Vc. So Vc is equal to, here applied voltage is VCC, VCC minus ICRC. So applied voltage minus the drop in the resistor RC1. Okay, RC1 or RC, because RC1 is equal to the RC2. That's why we have just taken it as RC. So voltage at the node C is Vc, which is equal to Vcc minus ICRC, and the voltage at the node emitter is VE. Okay, so and VCE, we know that the VCE value is equal to Vc minus VE, as I already told. Okay, so next thing we have to find out the voltage at the emitter terminal. And the voltage at the emitter terminal is nothing but the VBE voltage, and it is a minus voltage. Okay, so that's why, so VCE is equal to Vc minus VE, voltage at the node C minus voltage at the node E. Okay, so that's why we already calculated the Vc value. Vc is Vcc minus ICRC. So now I am just replacing this Vc value in this equation. Therefore, VCE is equal to VCC minus ICRC minus of minus VBE. Okay, because here we have the minus voltage and here we have the plus voltage. That's why we have to take it as minus VBE voltage. So minus of minus will becomes plus here. So that's why VCE output voltage is equal to VCC plus VBE minus ICRC. Therefore, for a differential amplifier, the operating point values VCE is approximately equal to VCEQ and IE is approximately equal to ICEQ. This can be given as, so ICEQ is equal to VEE minus VBE by 2RE. So hence we have neglected the RS by beta, which is a small value, and VCEQ value, which is VCE value what we have calculated here, that is VCC plus VBE minus ICQ RC. Okay, so in this equation, if you observe in the ICQ equation, if you observe, the VBE value is fixed for a transistor and RE value is also a fixed value. If we know the VE applied voltage, then we can calculate the ICQ. ICQ operating point value we can easily calculate. And in VCQ also, if you know the VCC value, VBE is a known value and RC is a constant value. ICQ value is also a known value if you know the VEE voltage. So if you know the applied supply voltages VCC and VEE, we can easily calculate the operating point values. Okay, so next we are going for the AC analysis, and this DC analysis, the calculation of ICEQ and VCEQ is same for all remaining configurations like dual input unbalanced output, single input unbalanced output and single input balanced output configurations. So next thing we are going to do the AC analysis. In this AC analysis, we are going to calculate the voltage gain, input resistance and output resistance of our differential amplifier. In order to do the AC analysis, so one thing we have to understand, so all the DC sources that are present in the circuit should be given to the ground terminal. In this circuit, we can see the DC voltages present are the plus VCC and minus VEE. These two things should be replaced with a ground, because as we are doing AC analysis, DC sources must be given to the 0. And one thing, so these transistors should be replaced with a equivalent circuits. Equivalent circuits of H parameters or R parameters, whatever it is. So we can do the AC analysis in both ways, in H parameter model or in R parameters model. So here I am going to R parameters model because it is simpler. It is very simpler and the results are approximately equal to the actual results. And one more thing, we can easily remember the equations obtained from the R parameters. And another reason to go for R parameters, it is a simpler, less cumbersome. So that we are going for R parameters. So in this equivalent circuit, the AC analysis equivalent circuit, we can observe that DC sources VCC were grounded, and here the VEE source also grounded. So next thing, these transistors was replaced with the R parameter equivalent circuit, which contains RE dash and one current source HFE. Okay, so here we have to apply KVL for the both input side loops. This is the loop 1 and this one is the loop 2. Here V1 and V2 are the AC signals, AC input signals. So in order to calculate the voltage gain, we are applying KVL for the both input side loop 1 as well as the loop 2. If we apply KVL for this loop 1, the voltage that is present in this loop is V1. Therefore, V1 is equal to RS1 into IB1, because this is the stage 1 base current. That's why RS1 into IB1. And here RE dash into IE1, because the emitter current is flowing in the emitter branch. So that's why IE1 into RE dash plus. So in this RE, the capital RE resistance, both emitter currents are flowing. IE1 current from this circuit and IE2 current from this circuit. That's why RE into IE1 plus IE2. Okay, this is about the loop 1 KVL equation. Next thing, we are going for the loop 2 KVL equation. In this KVL equation, V2 is the only voltage source that is present. Therefore, V2 is equal to RS2 into IB2 plus IE2 into RE dash plus IE1 plus IE2 into RE. Okay, so that we have got the two KVL equations, and we know one thing, IB is equal to IC by beta, or else beta is equal to IC by IB. So we already, if you rearrange the equation, IB is equal to IC by beta we get, but we know IC is approximately equal to IE. That's why I am replacing IC as IE. So in this case, IB1 is equal to IE1 by beta. So okay, so actual equation is beta is equal to IC by IB. Rearrange, if we rearrange the equation, IB is equal to IC by beta, but IC is approximately equal to IE. So IB1 can be written as IE1 by beta. Similarly, IB2 current is also written as IE2 by beta. Now we can replace IB1 and IB2 values in the V1 and V2 equations. If you substitute the IB1 value, then the V1 is equal to, here IB1 was replaced with IE1 by beta into RS1 plus RE dash into IE1 plus RE into IE1 plus IE2. Next, if you substitute the IB2 is equal to IE2 by beta in the V2 equation, then the V2 equation will becomes V2 is equal to RS2 by beta into IE2 plus RE dash IE2 plus RE into IE1 plus IE2. Okay, so here RS1 by beta and RS2 by beta both are negligible values. So why they are negligible? Because the beta value is a large value and RS value, the source resistance, is a small value. Small value by a large value is a which results a small value. Hence, these terms, this RS1 by beta into IE1 and RS2 by beta into IE2 can be neglected from the above equations. Therefore, the equations can be written as by excluding those two terms. So V1 is equal to Re dash plus Re into IE1 plus Re into IE2. So here we have just taken IE1 in as a common from the both terms. So that's why Re dash plus Re into IE1 plus Re into IE2 is equal to V1 we got. Similarly, V2 is equal to Re into IE1 plus Re dash plus Re into IE2. These two equations we got. Okay, by solving these two equations, if you solve these two equations in order to get the IE1 value as well as the IE2 value, our main intention is to calculate IE1 and IE2. So that's why if you solve those two equations, we can get IE1 is equal to Re plus capital Re into V1 minus Re V2 divided by Re dash plus Re whole square minus Re square, and IE2 as Re dash plus Re into V2 minus Re V1 divided by Re dash plus Re whole square minus Re square. So in this, the denominators are same. Okay, the output voltage V0 can be given as V0 is equal to Vc2 minus Vc1, as we are taking the output between the two collectors of the transistors. Vc2, the second transistor collector voltage, minus the first transistor collector voltage Vc1. V0 is equal to Vc2 minus Vc1. Okay, so these values, the Vc2 can be given as Rc minus Rc into Ic2, and Vc1 can be given as minus Rc into Ic1. Why these two are minus? Because the input and output are out of phase. Okay, so here we can see minus of minus, which becomes plus. So that's why we can write the equation Rc is equal to Ic1 minus Ic2. So as it becomes plus, the Ic1 will comes first. Okay, Rc into Ic1 minus Ic2. Therefore, V0 is equal to output voltage of our differential amplifier is equal to Rc into Ic1 minus Ic2. So we already know one equation. The Ic is approximately equal to Ie. Therefore, we can write the equation as V0 is equal to Rc into Ie1 minus Ie2. And we already know the values of IE1 and IE2 here. So we are going to substitute this IE1 value and IE2 value in the V0 equation in order to get the voltage gain. If you substitute that, V0 is equal to RC into IE1 minus IE2. This is IE1 value and this is IE2 value. Okay, so as the denominators are same, we can take it as a common, and if you substitute the a plus b whole square equation, then we can get Re dash into Re dash plus 2Re in the denominator section. In the numerator section, after solving, Rc into V1 minus V2 into Re dash minus 2Re we get. If in this equation we can say the value of Re, the value of Re dash, small re dash, is very small when compared with the capital RE. The value of internal emitter resistance RE dash is very much smaller than the external emitter resistance Re. So that's why we can neglect Re dash in these two terms. Re dash minus 2Re or Re dash plus 2Re will be equal to the 2Re only. Okay, so that's why the numerator section will contain the 2Re and the denominator section will contain the 2Re. Both will get cancelled, and the remaining what we have Rc into V1 minus V2 by Re dash. Therefore, we can write V naught is equal to Rc by Re dash into V1 minus V2. V1 minus V2 is the difference between the input voltages. So that can be written as Vd. So that's why if you take this Vd to left hand side, V naught divided by Vd we get. Okay. Therefore, the differential gain Ad is the output voltage divided by the input voltage. Therefore, Ad is equal to V naught divided by Vd, which is equal to Rc by Re dash. Okay, this is the equation for differential gain of our differential amplifier Rc by Re dash. Okay, so based on the Rc value what we selected in the circuit, the differential gain will depends on that. So the only thing changes the gain is Rc. Based on the Rc, we can select the different gains. Okay, next we are going to calculate the input resistance of our differential amplifier. So in order to know the input resistance of our differential amplifier, we have to consider some points. So those are, if we are calculating the input resistance of this side, we should give the another voltage should be grounded. The another voltage should be grounded while calculating the input resistance of this stage. So if we are calculating the second stage input resistance, the stage 1 input voltage must be equal to the 0. So example, if we are calculating the Ri1 input resistance of this stage 1 or this transistor section Ri1, while calculating the Ri1, the V2 should be grounded. And if we are calculating the Ri2, the input resistance of the second stage, then the stage 1 input voltage V1 should be grounded. Then only we can calculate the input resistance of our differential amplifier. And one more thing is the resistance, the input resistance is a ratio of input voltage to the input current. Okay, so then we can write the input resistance Ri1. Now I am going to calculate the Ri1 stage 1 input resistance. Ri1 is equal to stage 1 input voltage V1 divided by the stage 1 input current Ib1 at the second stage input voltage V2 is equal to 0. So, okay, this is the equation for the input resistance, and from the derivations what we have derived previously, Ib1 can be written as Ie1 by beta, and already we know the Ie1 value. Okay, by substituting the Ie1 value, we can get, okay, so here Ri1 is equal to beta times of Re dash into Re dash plus 2Re divided by Re dash plus capital Re. Okay, how we got this equation? So this beta will go to the numerator section. Okay, and if you go here, Ie1 equation. Okay, in this Ie1 equation, denominator will be equal to the Re dash into Re dash plus 2Re, and this numerator section. So as the V2 is equal to 0, we does not have this term. Okay, so only this term will be present, V1 into Re plus capital Re. This V1 will be cancelled by Already we have an expression here. See, V1. Those two V1s will get cancelled, hence we does not have any V1 term in the right hand side. Therefore, the Ri1 is equal to beta times of Re dash into Re dash plus 2Re by Re dash plus Re. And we know that the capital Re external emitter resistance is very much greater than the Re dash. So that's why we can neglect the small Re dash in the above equations. Then the numerator term will becomes beta Re into 2Re divided by Re only. So this capital Re and this capital Re will get cancelled, and the equation will becomes Ri1 is equal to 2 into beta times of Re dash. Okay, beta times of Re dash. This is for stage 1 input resistance of our differential amplifier. Ri1 is equal to 2 beta Re dash. Okay, so next thing, similarly we can calculate the second stage input resistance Ri2, which is equal to V2 by Ib2, second stage input voltage divided by the second stage input current at the stage 1 input voltage is 0. V2 by Ib2 at V1 is equal to 0. We can replace Ib2 as Ie2 by beta. Therefore, the equation will becomes V2 by Ib2 divided by beta at V1 is equal to 0. Similarly, if you substitute the Ie2 value, what we have calculated previously, we can get Ri2 is equal to 2 beta Re dash. Okay, so the input resistance of the both stages will be equal in a differential amplifier. Hence, we can say the Ri is equal to 2 beta times of Re. So so what is this Re value? This can be calculated as a 26 millivolts divided by IC. Okay, like that we can calculate the Re value. The factor 2 arises because the Re dash of each transistor is in series. Okay, now we are going to calculate the output resistance of our differential amplifier. So the output resistance is defined as the equivalent resistance that would be measured at the output terminal with respect to the ground. So in the equivalent circuit, okay, so we have to see from the output side. So whatever is the resistance that is present, that will be our output resistance. Okay, the output resistance is defined as the equivalent resistance that would be measured at the output terminal with respect to the ground. If you see from the output side, RC is in parallel with the current source. This current source offers very high resistance. So very high resistance in parallel with a small resistance, the resultant will be the small resistance. That's why the output resistance will be equal to the RC. Therefore, in both stages, RO1 output resistance of the stage 1, which is equal to the output resistance of the stage 2, which is equal to RC. Therefore, by taking the RC value as small as possible, we can cascade our output to the next stage. Okay, based on the RC value, our output resistance is going to be declared.